First, I want you to hear, and if you're watching at Newsmax.com, I want you to see something that took place last night. And this was at I believe it was an AARP forum for all the mayoral candidates of New York City. And this is, I'm sorry, did you ask me a question? Okay, no, I'm sorry. 20, did I let's see, I think I had said it was 27. And Anthony Weiner did not expose himself. Anthony Weiner did not tweet a picture of his private parts. Anthony Weiner did not have phone sex in the men's room as far as we know. Nothing like that. But Anthony Weiner had started a confrontation, apparently. It was caught on New York One, the New York cable TV station for news. And it involved our friend George McDonald, who is running as a Republican for the Republican nomination to be mayor of New York City. And Weiner walks up to him. I'm going to let you hear it and see it if you're watching, and then I'll tell you exactly what was said. So roll it.
Here we go. I heard what you said. Put your hand on me. Really? What's going to happen if I do? You're a tough guy now. Yeah. How are you, man? You can? Appreciate it. Okay. Put your anger issues. I don't have any anger. What you do, Grandpa? Ooh, okay. Ooh, there you go.
Okay. That arrogant, pompous ass known as Anthony Weiner called George McDonald Grandpa after he put his hands on him. Joining us now to give his version of the story is New York City mayoral candidate on the Republican side, George McDonald. Hey, George, good to talk to you.
Hey, Steve, it's always a pleasure to be with you.
Well, this time you're not in person; you're on the phone. But let me ask you, describe exactly what happened. What we heard there was kind of hard to hear. But he walks up to you and he puts his hand on your chest.
This is a forum of I, Steve, am not seeking Anthony Weiner out. This is a forum of Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, everybody who's running for mayor of the city of New York. And you're correct, it was at the AARP. And, Steve, I'm a gentleman. I shake people's hands. Politics is an intimate sport. You grab a guy's elbow or pat him on the shoulder, that kind of thing. And I'm used to that. That's just fine. But all of a sudden, I feel from behind me somebody slapping me twice hard in my chest and going, "Oh, McDonald." And it was Weiner. And so I went up to him and I said, "Please, don't ever put your hands on me again." And then he said something about me having anger issues, which is ironic with the guy who yells and screams on the House floor before he resigned. But I said, "No, I don't." And I said, "Just don't put your hands on me again." And I thought that was a reasonable request. And then he said, "What are you going to do about it, Grandpa?" In the old days, Steve, we'd call somebody like that a punk.
Well, he is a punk, and I know that the folks at AARP, their state director Beth Finkel, says that she found some of the comments at the forum unfortunate. Certainly, she should have referred directly to what he said. I mean, first of all, it was disrespectful. It was punkish. It was typical Weiner-ish.
But Steve, he's got no respect for. If he has no respect for seniors, he has no respect for women. He has no respect for anybody else's opinion.
How about his wife?
He goes, well, that's between him and his wife. I don't know anything about that. But I got into this to run for mayor of the city of New York. And the problem here is when I talk about the character and judgment, I think that those things in a candidate are as important as ideas. And this fellow has no record. He didn't pass a bill in Congress. That's probably good, but has no executive experience. Only knows how to play to the crowd about using your money to satisfy them. They should have an increase in this, that, the other thing. He's never met a payroll. He doesn't have anybody that works for him for longer than 3 weeks. And, he's the most unqualified candidate to be mayor, I think, in the history of running for mayor.
Well, let me ask you, George. I want to ask you, first of all, there's nothing stupider than saying. I mean, even if it wasn't Anthony Weiner, if it was Joe Blow and he didn't put his hands on you, calling you or anybody grandpa at an AARP sponsored forum.
Well, he didn't think anybody heard it.
Right, I know that. But
it's before the actual forum itself started.
Right, yeah, but that's as dumb as could be. But were you?
But in this day and age, you have to approach everything as if everybody hears every word.
Well, he should know that as well as anyone. He's usually taking the pictures, right? But were you surprised? I mean, were you surprised? Were you taken aback?
Yes, I was surprised by it. Quite frankly, I was surprised that he actually touched me. And he did it in a way that was hostile.
Why do you think he picked on you to touch you? Why?
He's a strange fellow. I mean, he's part of this now celebrity culture that we have. Instead of being a politician or a public servant, he's in self-service. And this is about increasing his brand. So, for example, he doesn't care that you and I are now talking about him. That's what he wants.
Right. And it doesn't matter what
he does.
Right.
It doesn't matter what anybody says because he is above the election now. This is about, the 4,000 news articles that he has in a day.
Yeah.
It's about his celebrity and how he's going to cash in on that later on at our expense. I got in this to talk about the issues that are confronting the city of New York and our future. And this guy just eats up all of the oxygen in the room. There's no news hole for anything other than what Anthony Weiner says. And I called him on it.
Yeah, well, listen, George, it's great to talk to you, and I thank you for your time, and thanks for standing up to Weiner.
Well, and I'm looking forward to being back in the studio and sitting across from you, Steve.
We'll do that.
Some of these issues that are very important.
I hear you. We will do that, George. Thank you very much,
Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. George McDonald, always great to talk to you. All right, folks. By the way, the backup lawyers to Major Nidal Hassan, the jihadist, have now asked to resign from the case. He's representing himself, but his backup attorneys now want off the case. They say that he's working with the prosecution, that he wants the death penalty. He's trying for the death penalty. The case has been the court was dismissed early today after this revelation, and will resume apparently tomorrow. So this is a circus. It never should have gotten to this point, and it's a